Well, hey there, boys and girls. Welcome to our first music notes class, or music notation class. I am Mr. Cassidy, and it is very good to be starting this with you guys. Hope you guys are ready to learn about some music notes. Here we go.
Mud is oozy and mud is bad, but mud is the most fun I ever had. Ooh, yuck.
So the first thing you're going to need to know about music notes is, well, what is a music note and what makes a music note a music note? Well, as you can see from this picture here, a music note has a couple of different parts to it, or a few different parts to it. So the first thing that all music notes have is a head. Now, the head could look solid like this one. The head could look hollow like this one. Regardless, the music head is the first part of the note. A music note also has what's called a stem. Now, the stem of the music note looks like this, kind of like a flower. A flower has a head and it has a stem. So does a music note. Though not all music notes have stems. Sometimes music notes look like this. This one does not have a stem, just a head. Another part of music notes can be what's called the flag. This is the flag right here. And this music note has a head, a stem, and a flag. There's one more type of music note that we need to look at. And that is when a music note or notes have a bar between them. So look at this. Here are two music notes. There's a head and there's a head. There's a stem and there's a stem. We have two music notes here. But you can see here that these two music notes are attached. And they're attached with what we call the beam. That's right, these are two music notes. And they're attached by the beam. So let's review. Our music notes have a head, a stem, a flag, and a beam. And remember, not all music notes need to have all of these things. So this music note only has a head. This one has a head and a stem. And this one has a head, a stem, and a flag. All music notes, but they all look slightly different. So the different music notes look different because they do different things. So let's learn about one of the music notes today. The first music note we're going to learn about is called a quarter note. Can you say quarter note? So a quarter note is this note right here. This note is called a quarter note because it takes up a quarter of the measure. Now, a music measure looks like this. And here's our quarter note on the measure. Here's 4 quarter notes on the measure, because we can have up to 4 of them in the measure, which is why it's called a quarter note. It's kind of like with money. With money, if you want to get to $1, you need 4 quarters. In music, if you want to get up to 1 measure, you need 4 quarter notes. So when we talk about the quarter note, we're talking about the rhythm of the note. Okay? So we're going to use our hands to do that rhythm. So for us, a quarter note will have 1 clap, and it'll sound like this. One more time, 1 clap. Do it with me. Just 1 clap now. Excellent. So the quarter note is just 1 clap. And we're going to name that quarter note something else. So it's called a quarter note in music, but we're going to call it jam. And when we say jam, we're going to clap just once, because remember, a quarter note only has 1 clap. So it goes like this. Jam. Jam. One more time. Jam. And every time we say jam, we clap 1 time. So let's look at a measure with 4 quarter notes in it. So we're now going to clap 1, 2, 3, 4 times because we have 4 quarter notes. go. Let's try it. On 4, we're going to clap 4 times, just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jam, 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 jam. Ooh, were you able to do that? Remember, every time we say jam, and we read one of those quarter notes, we're going to clap 1 time. So get your eyes back onto those notes, and let's try one more time. On 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jam, 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 jam. Were you able to do that? Did you start after 4? And did you end after that last quarter note? Remember, we clap 1 time per quarter note, and we need to make sure that we're reading it, so we start and stop on time. Let's try one more time. Again, on 4, and then we clap. And we're going to do it only 4 times because we only have 4 quarter notes. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jam, 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 jam. That is how we use a quarter note. We're going to learn one more thing today, and that last thing is called a rest, or in this case, it's actually called a quarter note rest. So when we see a rest symbol that looks like this, we are going to rest and not do anything. So we're not going to clap. We're not going to say anything either. In fact, we're going to make our rest sound. And our rest sound to help us out is going to be shh. Can you do that with me? Shh. One more time. Shh. Make sure when you do that, you take your hand and put your finger up towards your mouth and go shh. Good. So every time we see this symbol, we're going to go shh. And remember, this is called a quarter note rest. All right, so let's use our quarter note rest. So here is a measure. And in our measure, we're going to have 4 quarter note rests. All right, so let's try it on 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shh, 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 shh. Were you able to do that? Remember, there's only 4 beats, so make sure that you only rest 4 times. So there should only be 4 shh going on, right? All right, let's try this again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shh, 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 shh. Awesome. I hope you were able to do that. Now, let's combine our quarter notes and quarter note rests. So here is a measure, and it has some quarter notes and some rests. Let's go ahead and read it. It says, jam, 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 shh. Right? Because there are 3 quarter notes and then a rest. One more time it says, jam, 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 rest. All right, let's try it on 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jam, 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 shh. Were you able to do that? Let's try one more time on 4, and then you clap for the first time. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jam, 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 shh. Remember that you only have 3 jams, and then you have a quarter note rest. So you need to make sure to go shh for that last beat. Let's try one more time. It goes jam, 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 rest. On 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jam, 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 shh. Were you able to do that? Let's try one more for today. This one says jam, jam, shh, jam. Notice that it goes 2 quarter notes, then there's a rest, and then there's one more quarter note in our 4 beats of the measure. Let's try it, okay? So keep your eyes on those notes, and let's go on 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jam, jam, shh, jam. Ooh, were you able to do that? It's a little bit trickier when we put our rest in a different location than the end, right? Let's try one more time, okay? Remember, jam, jam, rest, jam. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jam, jam, shh, jam. That's it for today, so let's review. We learned all about the parts of the note. We have the head of the note, the stem of the note, the flag, and the beam. We also learned that notes can have all of these things or only one of these things. We learned today about quarter notes. Quarter notes look like this. And we call them jam when we're reading them. We also learned that we only clap with them one time. We also learned about this symbol, the quarter note rest. We learned that when you see the quarter note rest, you do not clap. Instead, you go shh or do nothing. To practice, watch this video as many times as you want. Go ahead, rewind, come back. Make sure that you're practicing and you're knowing how to use quarter notes and quarter note rests. I'll see you next time.